Hello everyone. I am sure you will like this video and the work that I am reviewing. Be sure to like and write a comment. Enjoy your viewing. You never know what awaits you behind an unknown door. Are your memories dear to you? Or is it a lie? Everything I had disappeared in the blink of an eye. But when your despair reaches its peak, life gives you one last chance. The new reality becomes a second life for you. And it's useless to argue with this, because your existence depends on it. This world has come to its end. Terrible diseases and viruses that humanity has never encountered. The new reality will want to destroy you. But what can you do? What will you do with the dangerous creatures living in this ruthless world? Run away? Or will you try to find out what their secret and weaknesses are? You're a doctor. And your only faith is your scalpel. Although in this place it is stupid and pointless to believe in something. How will you meet this crazy world? Don, who do you want to be when you grow up? Mom, Dad, I want to become a doctor. There was a knock on the door. What? Who could it be? Mom, Dad, is that you? But when I opened the door, it wasn't my father or mother who met me. Two people in glasses and suits. Hello. Is your name Dong-gu? We work together with the older parents. We have bad news. They disappeared during the last study. They could not be found. We're sorry. Unfortunately, you have no other relatives, so within a few days you will be taken to a children's home. But don't think we're that heartless. When you turn 18, you will receive $5 million, use it as you please. For now, the money will be kept in the bank. If you have nothing to clarify, sign these papers. Hastily dumping out all this, one of the agents handed me a bundle of papers. I couldn't hold back my tears. My body was shaking as if I had seen a ghost. With a trembling hand, I signed the documents. And the agent continued. Okay, a car will come for you in a couple of days. She will take you to the orphanage, take the most necessary things with you. Goodbye, and accept our condolences. After closing the door, the guy was crying. It's weird because it's me. Right? I went up to the boy and hugged him, and he hugged me back. Tears flowed from my eyes. The guy said, "Hey, promise me in the future you will fulfill what you promised." At that moment, he raised his head. His face lost its skin and took on the appearance of a skull, with creepy-looking tentacles hanging from his chin. What the hell? Heck. I woke up in my room. And I couldn't catch my breath. My whole body was sweating like I just stepped out of the shower. I reached for the bedside table, on which was a bottle of half-drunk whiskey, a half-empty glass of the same whiskey, a pack of cigarettes and a lighter, and also a pack of pills that I drink regularly. But the carelessness of my movements, due to what I saw recently, made me throw a piece of paper off the table. I was reaching for the pill. The leaf fell from the pedestal. It was a medical report. Exactly. Malignant tumor of the brainstem. I didn't sleep until the morning. I was thinking about a dream, and a lot of things. Mom. Dad. Excuse me. I said and took cigarettes and went to the balcony. That's just an attempt to pull one of them turned into a failure. The pack was completely empty. Squeezing it with anger, I went out onto the balcony. Yes, the weather in the Indian Ocean is wonderful today. I was on a cruise ship. My name is Dong-gu. I'm 21 now. When I was 10, my parents went missing during a research trip. I have no relatives. That's why I lived in a children's house until I was 18. After that, as in my dream, I received the promised $5 million, and decided to enroll in the Eastern Medical University. $5 million. For the rich, this amount means nothing. But for me, a person who lost his parents, this should have been enough to live a long life without difficulties, with money in his pocket. I studied so hard and tried so hard to get into this institute. When I gave a speech at the opening ceremony, I was considered the best. Rich, smart, someone whom God has not spared. That's what they thought of me. I remember my lecture at the opening. There is only one patient in this world. This is poverty. All these judgments of people strongly influenced me. I forgot my main desire and began to live in luxury, burn out my life. Get-togethers with random people, nightclubs to order, girls. I hardly went to classes. In school days I was considered a rising star, but at the institute I became the son of a rich whore. However, 6 months ago I was diagnosed with brain cancer. I have visited hundreds of doctors. They all said the same thing. I have no more than 9 months left to live. So I gave up. I stopped trying to find a cure. My life began to come to an end. So the son of a rich whore died. And the real Dangu has returned to the harsh reality. This summer I invested most of my money in the orphanage that raised me. And also for a trip to the volcanic belt in the Indian Ocean on a cruise liner. Because there was a tragedy in this place that completely changed my life. This is where my parents disappeared. After I got dressed and left the room, a girl from the staff ran up to me and informed me. "Mr. Gu, the submarine is ready." "Great, I'm ready too," I answered. "Don't forget to take a jacket with you, it will be quite cold in the submarine. And the captain also wanted to tell you something." After these words, I followed the girl. She took me all over the ship right to the submarine. I invested most of the money in this trip. That's why they treat me like a king here. However, there are still many rich people on this ship. "Who is he?" one of the rich men asked when I approached the boat dock. Besides the captain, there were 3 other people standing there, apparently only 2 interested in my person. Meanwhile, a man, apparently the captain of the submarine, was heading towards me. "Mr. Gu, I know you were planning an individual trip, but they insisted." A middle-aged man came closer to me and spoke so that the others could not hear. "Please understand, we can't be rude to them in any way." However, it seems they did hear. "Well, we will pay more than we promised you, and then the submarine is ours." The girl standing next to the boat splashed out. I decided to insert the word. "There is quite a lot of space inside. If you want to join, if not, then look for another submarine," I said without a drop of emotion on my face. The girl apparently didn't like it, so she made a disgruntled face and shouted, "Hey! Who the hell are you?" She would have continued her questions, but the guy didn't interrupt. That he wasn't looking in my direction at all, but was only busy taking selfies all this time. "Relax, Michelle, we'll save some money," he said with a smile on his face, winking at the blonde. And then he turned to me, still with the same smile. "Thanks bro." The girl only grunted with displeasure. I just threw something like, "Let's hurry up." They talked in the background for a while longer. The girl was talking. "You said it would be secret." "Well, it just so happened, nothing can be done." The guy with the phone answered. "I will not give up this dive for anything." With these thoughts, I climbed into the submarine, and the journey began. This is where my parents disappeared. We slowly moved along the seabed. The guy who managed to negotiate with me turned out to be a streamer. Ask me how I understood this? I welcome everyone to my stream. We're diving to explore the seabed. The guy was holding the phone right next to the porthole. At this moment, a silent, pumped-up satellite turned to him all this time. "Jerry, are you sure no one else knows about this operation?" His face was clearly tense. "Don't worry, Derek. Even if someone finds out about everything, we're alone here now," the guy with the smartphone answered. "I doubt it," the girl added. "You heard that guy yourself. He was definitely telling the truth. Moreover, there is too much territory here to find us. Damn, the window is dirty here, I'll probably sit in another place." With these words, the guy unbuckled his seatbelts and followed to another place. "Hey, be careful," the girl blurted out. "Don't worry, everything is fine." "Sir, please sit down and buckle up. There is a strong shaking under the water. It's dangerous." The captain intervened in their conversation. "There's no need to worry about me. Look, we're at the bottom." I looked out the window and was convinced of what the guy said. We were really getting close to the bottom. Maybe I can find the wreckage? "What is it?" I saw a glowing structure resembling a pyramid at the bottom. "An obelisk? At a depth of 1,500 meters? There's something written on it." I was watching the obelisk trying to read the inscription when suddenly it lit up red. "Is that lava?" Lava began to ooze from the symbols on the obelisk. The next moment, an incredible pain hit my head. I closed my eyes trying to drown it out, but what I saw shocked me. Fuck. What's happening? Before my eyes I saw a strange structure made of the flesh of humanoid bodies. Some parts of it were amazing. A huge eye, for example, sticking out of the structure, as if from above. Then I saw a huge creature resembling Cthulhu from the internet, which destroyed the city. And I stood and watched it all. Fasten your seatbelts, we got into a water stream. The submarine tilted and shook as if an earthquake had occurred. Fortunately, most of the passengers were strapped in, which cannot be said about the streamer which was thrown from side to side on the submarine. Jerry didn't buckle up. The girl shouted. Jerry was flying all over the boat, and now he flew right at me. Pip pip. A connection is being established. What the hell? The pain is gone. Who says that at all? I was standing in front of an obelisk the height of a 5-story building, on which it was written, "Connection." The connection with the owner is established. Scanning. Isn't that the obelisk I saw? Is this some kind of system? Race, human. Gender, male. Age, 21. Height, 182. I don't understand anything. Medical information? It is also written directly on the obelisk. What the hell? Systolic pressure, 100 millimeters of mercury. It's fine. Diastolic pressure, 77 millimeters of mercury. It's fine. The level of glucose in the blood. It's fine. Brain system, a fatal anomaly. A mutation has been detected in the cerebral cortex. The malignant tumor is constantly melting. Presumably death will occur in 60 days. My illness. I don't have enough time. The list of tasks is updated. The owner can receive certain rewards for completing tasks. All tasks are divided into 3 levels: average, upper, and nightmarish. The owner is allowed to choose only one of them. On the obelisk there is a mask with the head of Cthulhu. So these tasks? It is allowed to have only one quest. After completion or expiration, the list of tasks will be updated. List update, July 21, 2020. The average level. Help an emergency patient during the day. Reward. A cure for a malignant tumor. The medicine is able to prolong the life of the owner for 5 days. I stood in disbelief. Am I delirious? The highest level. Open 3 human bodies within 3 days. Reward. Karapo autopsy knife. If I do the tasks, will I be able to survive? Nightmarish level. Open the ghoul's body. Reward. Unknown. No, this is definitely nonsense. Where can I find the body of a ghoul? I thought and continued listening to the obelisk. Please choose your starter kit. It can be selected once. Suddenly the obelisk lit up. Light poured out of it, and after a moment something like a piece of a body from tentacles with eyes came out. To get a set, you need to wake up. Touch it. She's alive. I thought, but a trembling hand instinctively reached out to the creature. As soon as she got into her reach, the tentacles opened, wrapped around my arm, and began to suck into the mouth of this creature. She kept pulling until she sucked her hand into herself. I felt like my whole body started to boil. My hand? What's wrong with her? I looked at my free hand and saw an eerie sight. My skin began to crawl and evaporate. And after a moment, it started happening to my whole body. I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I saw a familiar tentacle in front of my eyes that made me come to my senses at the moment and crawl away. The tentacles were tormented in agony and evaporated like I did a couple of moments ago. Seeing this, I hurried to check my hands. When I looked, I realized that they were intact, but something had changed. A bright orange aura appeared around them. And on the obelisk there was a form with an orange palm display. And the inscription. Ability, Cold Bombs. Rarity, 1 star. Possible level, 3rd level. Current level, 1st level. Current points, 0 out of 5,000 skill points. Cold palms, the ability to always help the doctor to keep his hands calm during treatment and operations. The maximum level of this skill is comparable to the hands of an experienced surgeon. Looking at my hands, I had a strange feeling. I forgot why I started all this. What does this system mean? Is it really connected with the disappearance of my parents? I shouted at the top of my voice. However, it seems the system was not designed to listen to me. Fixated, she repeated. Ready to choose a mission? Ready to choose a mission? Are you ready? I want to know the whole truth. Show me the list of tasks, I shouted. All the previously announced 3 tasks surfaced on the obelisk. Is it really possible to accomplish this? Can I choose a task later? If you want to choose a task later, use the system inside your mind. There is a process of returning to reality. VoIP. And again the head began to split as if all the organs were twisted inside. But the next moment I woke up. Watch out! Catch him! The girl behind me was screaming. And out of the corner of my eye I managed to notice Jerry flying in my direction. What's strange is that I didn't get confused. The guy hit his elbow on my chair and was turned right onto the iron wall of the submarine. My palm was surrounded by an orange glow, and I managed to grab the guy by the collar of his shirt, and then pulled him to me and squeezed tightly. The captain gave the command. Hold on tight. The submarine was swinging from side to side. Look what it is? The girl shouted again. I looked out the porthole. Something was happening outside. The whole fish seemed to have gone mad, and her eyes began to glow red. Oh my God, it should be completely different. Derek was clearly in a panic. After a while, the whirlpool was left behind. Phew. Got out. The captain breathed a sigh of relief. Great grip, bro. Thanks for the help. Finally responded Jerry, who had been sitting in my arms all this time. He hurried to get up. However, apparently that blow was stronger than expected. Blood was oozing from his hand. It looked bad, to put it mildly. The girl and I rushed to Jerry, who was sitting on the floor and clenched his teeth in pain. I began to examine. How are you feeling? Nausea or dizziness? There's nothing like that, only my arm hurts like hell. The guy's face was all sweaty. And blood continued to gush from his hand. The captain exclaimed, clearly worried. Mr. Gu. Let's wait until we get to the surface. A doctor will help him there. To which I confidently retorted. I am a student of the Eastern Medical University. Bring me a first aid kit. We need to provide first aid immediately. Good. I'll bring it right away. The captain muttered and ran for the first aid kit. The guys were obviously shocked by what was happening and only I didn't panic. Don't worry. With the exception of your hand, you are no longer in danger, I said to Jerry, feeling his head for damage. Wait a minute. Isn't this a mid-level assignment? Provide emergency assistance to the patient during the day. I'll try to accept the task. VoIP. The average level. Provide emergency assistance to the patient during the day. Reward, a special drug for a malignant tumor that can prolong the life of the owner for 5 days. To accept. Reject. I chose to accept without hesitation. Mr. Gu. I brought the first aid kit as you requested. The captain responded. Brother, I'm a little dizzy, Jerry mumbled. Don't lose consciousness. Say something to distract yourself. I punished him and started first aid. In a panic, Jerry began to carry everything that came to mind, what his name was, who he worked for, what his favorite food was, and so on. Fine, go on. Slowly raise your wounded arm, I said it calmly and clearly. Ah. I heard the reaction of those who were standing behind me. While examining the wound, I heard Jerry's question. Is it really that bad? He looked at me with plaintive eyes, and was clearly nervous. Don't look. And keep talking. I snapped. Open fracture of the forearm. I can only give first aid, I thought, looking at a rather large open wound through which you could see muscles and bone. An open fracture. First you need to stop the bleeding. It's going to hurt a little, so I'll have to be patient." With these words, the cold hand skill was activated. I moved my hands with incredible agility and speed. Opening the first aid kit, I took a belt from there to stop the blood, and almost instantly squeezed the place above Jerry's wound with it. Then I started to put a bandage on the wound, and also fixed Jerry's hand with the lid of the first aid kit, which I broke in half. This is necessary so as not to aggravate the wound. Those cold hands. They are really amazing. "How fast?" the girl exclaimed. "Every 45 minutes, loosen the belt for 2 minutes. If something goes wrong, call me," I said it as if I provide first aid every day. "Thank you, brother." Jerry looked tired, and not surprisingly, he had lost a lot of blood. "Hey, why didn't you fix your arm straight?" the girl asked with an incredulous look. To which I immediately retorted, "An open bone fracture can lead to repeated injury. Therefore, in order to avoid this, the hand must be kept in a bent state." A few moments later, Jerry remembered his phone. And then I looked right under my feet. I was standing right on it. The girl got angry at me saying, "Are you blind? Don't you look at your feet?" It seems that I didn't just save her friend, but on the contrary crippled him. But Jerry just shook his head. He understood that he almost said goodbye to his life for the sake of a photo. Meanwhile, we sailed on. Jerry regularly loosened the pull of the harness, until suddenly the silence was interrupted by Derek's scream. "Look up!" Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like and write a comment, then the second part will come out 100%. All bye.